3, 2, skidoo. We like to have fun here. When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain? When the hurly-burly's done? When the battle's lost and won? Welcome to the Sunday Movie Marathon. I'm Max this week.
I'm Chris all weeks.
I'm confused most weeks.
And this is episode 65. We made it, guys. How have we all been this week?
Pretty bloody awful, to be honest.
Yeah, Darcy's spent the whole week dying.
Yeah. I've got a tooth infection, so I'm pretty sad. And I got to get it pulled at the end of the week. So not only have I got massive anxiety, but I'm also in a lot of pain. I mean, I'm not right now because the antibiotics have finally kicked in. But I've wanted to die pretty much all of this week.
Yeah. It was my birthday on Friday, which was nice. Had a good day. Me and Darcy went to London. She was dying. The whole train ride there.
Darcy's spoiling everything.
So he literally said the night before, "Oh no, we don't have to go." And I was like, "No, it's your birthday. We're going to go." But that was the worst 2.5 hours I've ever spent on a train.
I mean, obviously I really wanted to go because we were going to Jack White from the White Stripes. He has a record shop called Third Man Records in London. You know, I really wanted to go there ever since that opened. And I thought it would be just a nice time generally. But at the same time, I was like, I don't want to put you through loads of pain just for this day that we could probably do in a couple months' time.
We probably are going to do it again because I couldn't really enjoy it because of just how much pain I was in.
Yeah.
It was a nice time, but I would rather do it again when I feel better.
Went to a place called the Breakfast Club as well for lunch, which was so good. They do just like nothing but breakfast food. I think I had a breakfast burger that was like sausage patty, bacon, egg, sriracha sauce, cheese, and it's on like a toasted ciabatta roll.
Oh boy.
It did look really good. And then we bought like these hash browns because obviously I can only eat soft foods and I can't even eat a lot of it. So I was like, what the hell am I going to eat? So I got this like pancake stack, but I could only eat 2 pancakes off of the stack because it was like 6 or 7 pancakes high. It was ridiculous.
What is it then, like soup diet for the rest of the week?
I've pretty much been eating like soft.
Sift soup through like the holes in your mouth now.
Yeah, like no joke.
Where the pulled teeth are going to leave you.
There was one day where I went to work just the day after I started my antibiotics, and I had soup, and the pain was unbearable. Like I didn't even finish it. Like, I couldn't even eat soup without crying. It was so painful. But now we're finally at the point where I can eat semi foods, I suppose.
Yeah. Like baby food.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
like mulch.
Yeah, things that aren't like completely soft.
You can eat a banana if I've mushed it up with a fork.
Like yogurt and oatmeal and things. Yeah,
porridge.
And it's gonna be like, I reckon for like at least another, because I got to get pulled on Friday, so I reckon for about another week I'm just gonna be like eating nothing pretty much.
It's gonna be horrible.
Yeah,
we're going to see the hardcore punk band Turnstile tomorrow as well. So someone's gonna die.
Someone might actually punch my tooth out of my face, and I kind of, if anyone's listening that are going, that won't hear this episode by that time. I hope someone has
punch
done
me
that.
in the face so I don't have to go to the dentist.
I hope someone punches it out of my face.
I feel like that might be worse for you in the long run. I also went to the dentist this week past.
Yeah, me and Max are growing as people.
Yeah, I haven't been in like a decade.
No, neither have I. And that's why you have to go, guys.
I guess I should probably check it out. Do something about it. I didn't even think that much was wrong, and it turned out not much was wrong, and I got it sorted like immediately after a hefty sum of money was spent, which is a shame. But
it has to be done, though,
I'm not going to complain too
innit?
much about it. I mean, like some people pay like thousands, right?
Yeah, I think I paid nearly £300 to try and save this tooth, and it's not being saved; it's going. So I can understand. Like I was supposed to spend about £2,000 trying to get a root canal, and I said, "Fuck that! I'm not getting a root canal," because I'd have to go private, so it would cost me like £2,000. Fuck that.
And it's like supposedly unbearably painful as well.
Oh God. Nah.
Yeah.
So
We've all
guys,
got to
go to the dentist.
bite the bullet at some point. Yeah, if you've got the money. Some people don't.
True. But if you really have to go to the dentist, please go to the dentist.
We have like no NHS dentists left in this city. They're all gone.
To be fair, the waiting lists are really long. Like this woman was there when I went, and I go private because you can't get on the NHS. And she goes, "Oh, I've just moved to the area. Can I get a waiting like form? Can I fill one out?" She goes, "Yeah, but the waiting list is like 1.5 to 2 years long." And I thought, imagine if I had to wait 2 years. Literally, it was ridiculous.
The rot and decay hath taken me.
Yeah, it'd be. I'd get like sepsis probably.
Yeah, would have been much worse.
Yeah, it's just not worth it.
They were like, haha, don't wait 10 years to book your next appointment again. After I went, I was like, that's fair advice.
But then he also said, I don't want to see you back here again.
They hate you.
No, they should love me because I'm paying them good money. No, I think it was because they were like, oh, no, we fixed it now, so hopefully you don't have to come back. And I've been back another, 2 or 3 times now.
Oh, well, teeth aside.
Yeah, what else have we been doing?
We watched The Crown.
We did watch The Crown.
Season 1.
Crowns are kind of related to teeth.
Yeah, it's kind of serendipity. Yeah.
You guys saw Buckingham Palace when you were in London?
We did.
There were like loads of like guards marching around for some reason. They were
playing the drums
music
and stuff, yeah.
Sometimes I get bored.
Yeah. There's like a huge group of them inside the actual palace playing along. Then they stopped. There was like a guy marching along, like going up and down. And then like a load of guards came out of nowhere from this park, all marching into the palace, and they stopped.
Yeah, we and there was like obviously like loads of like police people and like horses and stuff, and I was like, is something actually happening here, or are they just like, I don't know, testing their drum kits? Or I'm so confused. I
think it might just be a common thing they do.
But like there's like loads of people just standing outside like filming the whole thing, and all the people on the horses getting really pissed off because they were like, you can't stop in the road, even though it was like hardly a road. It was like literally just the entrance to the palace bit that was guarded off. I was like, really? Who cares?
These crazy rules and their crazy traditions.
Yeah. So, season 1, this is about the royal family. Season 1, most specifically, is about, I guess, the ascent of Queen Elizabeth II to the throne in, I think, the 50s it was, after the death of George VI. And it's basically just about, like, all the crazy things she does and just all the crazy little adventures she gets up to. It's just, it's fun. I kind of held off on watching this for a while because I thought it was going to be quite like a bootlicking thing.
We love the
monarchy.
royals.
We just love the monarchy. But I found that really wasn't what it was at all.
I'd say in some ways it kind of is, but not overtly.
It definitely takes its liberties, I think. But yeah, what did we think of season 1 of The Crown?
I'd definitely say it's better than I thought it was going to be. I sort of put it off for the same reason, but I also have the reason of I'm not really big into royal dramas. I find them all really tedious, or they like sort of suck up to the royals and stuff, and I'm just not really a fan of it. But I actually quite liked it. It was actually really interesting. It wasn't too one side or the other, I felt like.
Yeah, I liked the way they kind of paint it in a much darker, more political way than I think you'd expect it to. They don't really like show the royal family as like this glamorous, wonderful commodity that we should be lucky to have. They kind of just paint it how it is in a way. They paint like this family drama, like the political side of it with like Winston Churchill comes in. He's like a big part of the show, kind of like his relationship with the Queen and a lot of like the stupid traditions that kind of they have to live by that can ruin like their relationships and stuff.
Yeah. It's quite strange because like, I don't know, we're always seeing the royal family as kind of like this ethereal being, this group of people who are untouched and untouchable. They exist as gods within our realm, and very, very rare we see them crack, or like exhibit any signs of humanity for me, I think, because they are trying to be this kind of like godlike entity.
Yeah, they feel almost
over
like a service, don't they? Rather than like that's an actual person.
Mhm.
They just don't feel like people. They feel like commodities in a way.
So it was good to watch the show and kind of get into, I guess, the humanity of it. For me, at least, I found like you just get to spend time with these characters, and like I don't know if I kind of like do think of them as like, oh yeah, these are characters.
Yeah.
And for me, I think like it's a very kind of antiquated system, a monarchy. It's like more akin to, I think of like, you know, medieval times or like fantasy, and it's like, yeah, back in the day we had kings and queens and they sacked castles and all this, but it's still here, you know, and it's still in the modern age. But it's interesting that they do kind of get into that within the show itself.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to actually think about the fact that we have a royal family. I know like they're everywhere, but you don't really see a lot of them like now, I don't think. But I don't know if that's just because people might care a bit less about them now, or I don't know. I can't explain it, but I just feel like they're almost not as sensationalized as they once were, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely now. And this kind of like paints this time where they kind of were very sensationalized. They were beloved by the nation. Like, obviously, when Queen Elizabeth came in, they made a huge public display of her coronation, which had never really been done before. They pushed it on TV, which it was like the first big TV broadcast. It was the thing that made millions and millions of people finally like cave in and buy TVs. They bought it just for that. And it's interesting seeing that compared to how it is today.
Yeah, like the only thing I ever hear about the royal family now is either them getting slagged off because marrying out of the family. I mean, marrying out of their.
Well, let's say it as it is, Darcy.
Marrying out of like the norms or whatever, or just hearing about like royal weddings. That is literally it. I never hear about anything else about them now.
They've kind of fallen from grace.
Yeah,
over
I
the
think
years.
so. But they're not perfect, are they? And I think this is the perfect thing that kind of shows it, doesn't it? Because I don't like when shows sort of, I don't know, suck up to the idea that the royal family is great.
You want to see people, right? You want to see
yeah.
humans with flaws that you can kind of relate to in TV and film. You want to see people who fuck up, yeah. Those are the most relatable kinds of characters, you know, people who have this sort of fall from grace, or like they're not perfect, and because none of us are, and these people in the monarchy, they're kind of painted as that, and they had been painted as that for a very long time. And I think only nowadays we're kind of seeing that kind of departure from it with all these scandals and controversy within the family themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I think the show does like a really good job of humanizing these people and like creating these characters like out of them. I know supposedly a lot of the show is fictionalized and a lot of the characters aren't actually like the people in real life, which I don't have a problem with because I think it makes for good TV. I think it would be a bit boring if it was exactly how it was in real life. I think they do have to massively dramatize it.
I bet they're proper prudy.
Yeah, they do. They have to dramatize it, of course.
Otherwise there'd be nothing to watch.
Yeah, and in that vein, I think the acting is all like kind of fantastic. It's all stellar. Like you got, what is it? Claire Foy is the Queen. I think she does a fantastic job like throughout the season. As someone who is always just like constantly criticized within the season about having no character, she's like very characterless, but and she kind of plays that to a degree where it's like it doesn't feel like they've given no thought to her character. It's like, yeah, she's just, because she's seen as this figurehead, she's not allowed to like think or feel or show any kind of outward emotion or opinion on things. I think she plays
she has to be neutral, doesn't she?
Plays the part exceptionally well.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how she is in real life, though. She is a very blank, neutral person, at least from how we've seen her portrayed in media and stuff.
But that's how, I guess that's how they want us to see her, isn't it? Because obviously she must like things, but could anyone tell me what the Queen likes?
Cows. You've seen that video where she's like with Philip and they're like at like a horse race or something, and she sees a cow and she just lights up and goes, cow.
Aww. So cows and corgis are the only things that she likes.
Likes her corgis, yeah.
I think it's just one of those things where I feel kind of bad for the Queen because she's almost got like no life of her own. She's literally here to serve this purpose of being this service, essentially. Do you know what I mean?
Sort of. I won't say I feel bad for her.
No.
Like,
well, I do on a
it's
human
just-
level, but I don't on like a. Obviously, she's had a privileged life. Blah 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 blah. But like in terms of like expression and creativity or something, like on a human level, I kind of feel bad for her in that regard. Like I don't know, I'd rather live my life free than have to be under scrutiny all the time and live as a service and etc. etc.
well, that's what we see a lot of the members of the, well, not a lot, but like a few of the royal members of the family. They do. They they abdicate or they leave and for one reason or another.
That's
and
what Harry did, right?
yeah, that's what he did. I think what is it in the 4th episode? They say monarchy is an ideal for the common people to strive towards. I was like, is it?
I didn't feel that.
Is it really?
I definitely didn't feel
And
that.
I don't think they would like actually. I don't think the producers of the show went, yeah, it is. I think it's like something
that they
the
think.
character them. I think it was like the Queen Mother who said that. And it's like, yeah, well, if you've grown up within this family and it's all you've ever known, and you do sure you probably do consider yourself the gods among men.
Yeah, they
if you're
probably
in
do.
this sort of system. And you never know anything less than that or anything outside of that experience. I'm sure it's very easy to get caught up in that and feel elevated in that way, even though it's fucking false.
Yeah, I could imagine. I just think it's all fake.
But yeah, I think Claire Foy is fantastic in the show.
She's great. I
I
love
think-
her.
The cast is just generally like just so well cast that everyone I think is fantastic in the show, and I think they really picked like the perfect people to play these roles.
Yeah, they also
like,
kind of look similar to what they should do as
especially
well.
Matt Smith playing Prince Philip, who
Nails
is
it.
fantastic. and
Fucking nails it.
He's
He's so
like-
good.
an
He
exact
is.
clone of Prince Philip. It's fucked up.
he nails it. He's so good in as that character. Yeah. I really like Matt Smith a lot. I think he's doing like really good work, especially recently. But yeah, I always saw like that character and not him. You kind of got him down like to a T for me at least.
See, I kind of feel bad because all I could see was Matt Smith, but then I think it's because when you know, well, you don't know an actor, but you kind of. It's almost as if I knew I was watching him playing someone. That's kind of what I got from
Yeah.
it. But like,
Yeah.
it didn't mean he wasn't good. Like there were parts where I was like screaming at TV, like, yeah, you need to listen to him. He's got a point. He's got a point. And I'm like, because he's so good at doing what he does. But I couldn't not see it. But then I just think he's one of those people that just looks so distinctive that I felt like it kind of took me out of it a little bit. I was like, I know who you
I think
are.
I was a little bit like that at first, but after a while that kind of went away and I just saw Prince Philip.
Oh, it must
Yeah.
have just annoyed me so much. That's all I could see.
I love their dynamic. I love that they don't shy away from presenting them as this imperfect couple. I mean, more often than not, I didn't even really get the sense that they even loved each other. It's kind of quite a fraught dynamic and relationship that they have.
Especially towards the
Within the show.
last couple of episodes, I was thinking, oh, okay, this is going well.
Yeah, especially in like the last episode where there's like that shot that he keeps cutting back to of them like arguing in the
Mhm.
car. But
That
I
was
really
crazy, yeah.
appreciate that
Yeah.
because all I've ever seen about them two is the fact that they're like a power couple and
Mhm.
that they were so great together and they worked off each other perfectly and all this stuff.
Yeah, but no couple's ever like that,
Yeah,
though,
exactly.
is it really?
That's
It's
what I
just,
appreciate about it. It does kind of delve into the dramatic side a little bit more, and supposedly that is kind of what their relationship was like at the time. It's not really been that publicized. So it's interesting to see them
no, because
focus on it.
they can't be not perfect. God forbid that the royal
Yeah.
family are not perfect and prim in every single way.
Yeah, there's that great scene where like they get into like a really big argument when they're like on a tour in Australia, I think, and they like ran outside and
Oh yeah,
they get,
the people
like,
filming
papped.
them.
Yeah, I was like, oh fuck.
I like when she throws like a tennis racket at him. That was sick.
That was great.
There's also that really, really great scene where they're arguing and she like says that I hate to admit it, but you're the only person I've ever loved. Can you say the same about me or something like that?
Yeah.
He's
That's a
silent.
fantastic scene.
He's just silent,
Mhm.
and it bothered me. I was like, "Oh, you're not even going to speak, are you?" Okay.
But then I also got the sense, it's like, what do you kind of expect? Like,
Maybe.
you know, he lived in Greece. You expect him to be like this? That's kind of what we expect from these people. These are kind of this kind of virginial type of air to them, and it's like, well, you think he's never? I don't know. Has he never been in love before her? I don't know. I don't know a lot about his time before.
Yeah,
for
like this. I was just
Royal
literally
Ascent,
just
you know.
thinking that, like, because obviously the first episode, like the first thing you see is them getting married, right?
Mhm.
And I do kind of wonder, like, you know, how did they like meet? How did this happen? Like, you know, like the kind of things that you kind of expect to think of when you're watching someone get married. Like, oh, you know,
They were
What's going
second
on?
cousins.
Yeah.
shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I found that out today when I was
Shut
researching.
the
No.
my
Yeah.
note.
They are.
They were
Mhm.
second
Yeah,
cousins.
second cousins first removed.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what does that mean? What the hell does that mean? Wait, so that are they no, not blood related, are they then?
No.
No, but they're like, oh, this making me cringe.
Technically, they're related, but not to the point where it's like really creepy.
Yeah.
It's still kind of weird, but it's not like
Second
disgusting.
Yeah. It's not like incestuous in that kind of way.
No, but I'm
that's-
actually baffled by that. Thank you for the info, though.
That's sort of that family, though. Like you marry within those circles.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! So when I said that as a joke, it was real. It was actually true.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
Which is why you get like so much to do with when is it Edward abdicated from the throne, and
Yeah.
his brother George took his place, and he did that for love and because his wife
he wanted to marry someone that
His wife had been divorced, and
Yeah.
there's like a
divorce
rule
was
in
a
the
no-no.
there's a rule in the Church of England where a monarch can't marry someone who's been divorced or something.
yeah, if their previous partner is not dead.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have. Yeah, they have to be
Um,
dead.
It's interesting how things have changed from that, I think. Although I don't know. I guess it's kind of still a bit, people do still hold those kinds of values, I think. And you see kind of a bit of tension with it when, like I guess more recently when Harry and Meghan got married. I think there was a bit,
Yeah, and everyone got
controversy
very,
around
very
that.
angry about it. But I think people are more. Well, I don't know about the royal family themselves, but obviously, I don't know, like the rumors come out that they were angry because like Meghan was like from common land or whatever, or the fact that she wasn't British or blah 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 blah, whatever you want to call it. But then that just makes me think about how kind of grimy, like civilian and royal family views could be towards that kind of thing. Like, what's the problem? What's the big deal?
Yeah, and they kind of like delve into that a little bit in the show as well with the relationship between Margaret and Peter, which is kind of like the entire royal family's like against that, and they at first they're like, Margaret can't marry him till she's 25, and then she turns 25 and still wants to marry him, and they're like, no, she still has to get approval from everyone.
yeah.
It's so ridiculous. What was the point?
It's a bit, yeah. I don't know. Like at the end of the season, it's like literally nobody's in a good place.
No.
I found that to be quite great cliffhanger, I guess, or like a good point to start the second season from. Which is like everybody's so downtrodden and everyone's at each other's throats. You know,
Everyone hates each other.
Everyone hates each other. It's a bold move to go for when you're portraying a family that we've kind of seen as being so together anyway, within like the press and the media, I think.
Except
to
of,
show that they have the cracks.
although I'd say of recent, I would say that they're more divided than they've been in a while, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the cracks are just very public now.
Yeah. I mean,
I prefer that though.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd rather them not paint this picture of, oh, we're shiny, happy people.
We're
Just be
immortal.
people, man. It's
Yeah.
fine. Like, we understand you have a job and we know that you ain't shit. It's fine.
So that's a big thing, you know, they've kind of elevated themselves in that way, and it's like they're not even people now. So like, and just to like often be referred to like they talk down on other classes or like other people in different areas of the world, I guess. And it's like every time they went on like a tour, they would say like, this place was so savage and so, you know, backwards before the white intervention, before we got here. now you guys civilized, and isn't that great? And it's like, fuck, man.
I mean, this is kind of what I'd expect from like white people in the 50s. It's sort of, I don't know, it's that sort of like mentality that I'd expect, like especially when I don't know,
well,
like
you know, it's British colonialism, isn't it?
Like the things that Philip would say to like the people in, was it like in Kenya?
Mm-hmm.
And he was just sort of like, well, he wasn't really saying anything like overtly offensive, but you could tell he was making slight digs at people, and I was just like, oh god. Because I've heard he was a bit like that in real life though, wasn't he? Where he was like,
he used to say really
things.
controversial, stupid things all the time.
And I was like, oh god.
Was it when they were in Bermuda? You said like the Queen gives a speech, which is basically saying thanks for, or like you now you're under like British imperial reign and now you're civilized. Well done. And then he says like,
sake.
oh, basically stay loyal or die.
It's ridiculous. But then I guess, of that time, I guess it kind of makes sense. It's sort of, I wouldn't say okay, but it was the way, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't know too much about the politics of it, really. I don't know if that's still kind of how it is today. I mean, obviously they always go on tours around the
I don't
world.
know. What do they ever do on those tours? Do they just say hi
see
to people?
people.
Yeah.
You guys are still loyal to us, right?
You're still good, yeah?
You guys haven't reverted back to your savage ways before we came in, huh?
It's such a weird thought that that's actually like the way people thought.
They're also like, that's the only time you see someone who's not white. No white people in
That
England.
is true, actually. You've got a good point.
No, there were only white people in England, sorry. I don't think I ever saw anyone who wasn't white when they were doing, you know, the filming in England, or like it's set in England. I don't think I saw anyone who wasn't.
No, actually, now that you bring it up, I didn't even think about it, but now that you've mentioned it, it's true.
Quite interesting. I don't know if that was a purposeful decision. I mean, it's 2016. I don't know, like, but it was also set in
19,
you know, the 50s.
Yeah,
I guess.
I'd like to say it's probably purposeful
And
of its time. Maybe.
You only really get like a sense of like what's happening within this insular kind of group, and like within Buckingham Palace, within Sandringham and Balmoral and Windsor and all that.
To be fair, you don't really get many outsiders either, and I would assume that because all of the royal family are white, they probably just predominantly just stuck to that.
That was definitely an intentional decision, though, to like keep the public out of it.
Yeah.
I think, and only show.
They're only on
the
like TV
situations,
snippets, aren't they?
Yeah,
mostly.
Because they are so kind of far removed from the public in that way, and I guess nowadays, I guess they're trying to be a little bit more integrated, but they do kind of exist in this other realm to us, the commoners.
We are nothing.
The scum.
Yeah.
One of the plots I really like that kind of really goes for that like human side of him's right at the beginning of this show, where there's like that whole plot with King George and him finding out he's going to die. I think that like, some of that stuff's like really sad. Like there's that fantastic scene, I think it's in one of the first 2 episodes, where he's like at this like family gathering and everyone's like playing music and stuff, and he's just like stood there just burst into tears.
Yeah, it was like Christmas or something, wasn't it? Yeah, that was actually really sad. I remember that quite well.
The show is very emotional, I found.
I liked it.
It really went for it. I really love that guy's, I don't know his name, his performance of King George.
I really liked him. It was a shame he was only in it for like 2 episodes. Made me upset.
Well, I mean, he does come back. They always do like flashbacks, I guess. But
there was one like, a couple episodes before the end.
He really went for it. I think he was really strong performance from him. And especially like he dies in the 2nd episode and you still felt like connected to him. I was like, wow, you really developed this character very well. And I thought it was very emotional when he died as well.
Yeah, it was.
Like, fucking hell. Yeah. It's not often that I feel like you can do like a death like that, and it hit that hard this early on in a show. I think it was very commendable.
I liked seeing another depiction of that person because I've obviously seen King's Speech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a great movie.
Yeah, I like The King's Speech, but
Yeah.
I didn't realise that's actually what it was.
Yeah, it's the same king.
That was him.
Well, I watched it when it like first came out, so I didn't really.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Not seen it.
Didn't really have the knowledge or the
Mm.
memory for it.
It was, I mean, I guess it's kind of difficult to like, especially like during the earlier episodes, I was like, who's that? Who's this? And who are they in relation to this
I kept
person?
doing that with was it Princess Margaret? I kept going,
Yeah.
no, Chris, who's that one? That one there, that one. I think I recognise her from somewhere. No, what's her name? No, I don't know her name. And then I just kept doing that for ages.
I was Googling everyone.
Yeah, that's what I was
This person's
doing.
still alive, but this person's still alive.
The only
they're a paedophile.
I think the only two people that I knew off the bat was Matt Smith and who's the guy from Third Rock? What's his name? John. What's his name?
John Lithgow.
Yeah.
John Lithgow, yeah. Really
Sweet
good.
Churchill.
Speaking of
Yeah.
which, he is fucking incredible in this
He
show.
is. He made
He's
me
really
finally like Churchill.
He worked heavily with a dialect coach, apparently, to like perfectly capture the British accent and everything. And he apparently stuffed cotton in his nostrils so he could like have that like nasal timbre of his like intonations. And I think it's like really great. It's like he just
imagine having
sounds the exact same as
cotton in
Churchill.
your face.
Apparently, it was like very minimal like makeup and stuff as well, but it like looks really effective because he looks exactly like him.
And it was
Yeah.
kind of, I went, did he gain weight or is he wearing a fat suit? And Chris was like, I think he's wearing a fat
I think
suit.
he gained weight actually.
Oh, did he?
Apparently, he just was in there for like 10 minutes, like in the makeup stuff.
Incredible.
Yeah, he was
Absolutely
fantastic.
on it.
The whole physical performance as well was like,
Yeah, I really
he's
felt
like
it, you know.
nearly 80 years old and he's just like hobbling around. And I guess there was a lot of contention as to whether he should step down, and because he was, I guess, you know, he's this guy who like led us through the Second World War. He was obviously very respected, but now it's like, oh, your time has passed. You should have retired like ages ago, but like he's just still clinging on.
Yeah. I think they do a great job of humanizing him as well. There's that fantastic plot. It's probably my favorite bit of the whole show. It's all about like his portrait.
Mhm.
He's like working with this artist to get this portrait of him, and he like grows this friendship with this artist, and they kind of like relate of the fact that they both lost a child when they were really young, and that scene's like really, really emotional. I think that does a great job of like actually humanizing this character, because so much of the show they paint him as like almost like this cartoonishly like bad sort of person, where he's just like saying loads of really horrible stuff. He's like doing really stupid stuff. He's like clearly very in his head. I think it was like really good to actually kind of see a bit more about him and actually kind of break down that barrier that he kind of seemed to be putting up the whole series.
Yeah, I like that episode a lot, actually. It was basically just about, it's just this dynamic between him and this painter. It's also very well acted.
I think that was my
Tony.
favourite one, actually.
Yeah, that's probably my
Yeah.
favorite episode.
I don't know, because I mean, to juxtapose that within that episode, it's episode 9, Assassins. There was also this subplot where like the Queen was like looking at horses. I was like, well, okay.
Yeah,
I don't really care about that.
But weren't there like corgis on that episode as well? So for me, that's just a
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that was the episode where like Darcy squealed because there was like a direct shot of these 3 corgis under a table.
Yeah,
It was the
That's what-
best.
that's what this show gets dead wrong. They don't show the corgis enough.
I know.
They don't.
They're
There was
there
that
for 2
one-
episodes or something.
Yeah, there was that one scene in the beginning of an episode where they were like corgis running through like a garden. I was like, oh my god, corgis in a garden.
hmm In terms of dynamics, I don't know what you guys thought of like Margaret and Peter's relationship. I thought it was, I mean, I liked it, but I kind of wish we'd gotten more from their relationship.
Yeah, I
and kind
completely agree with that.
of understood why they loved each other
Yeah,
so much.
I think I want to. I don't know, right? Because right now, obviously, everyone here knows that my memory's like batshit shit. So, how did they meet? I can't remember how this came about. Like, I don't. Were they already in love when we started seeing them, or I don't remember what actually happened.
I think it was just like he was in the employ of the.
Because he's been there
Buckingham
for 10
Palace
years.
And
But
he
I didn't-
stayed there for a bit, and they just got to know each other.
Yeah, because I just all I saw was like one episode they weren't there, and then the next episode they were like bang in love, and then they were like expedited or whatever, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what happened here?
It was quite sudden. It was like, we're in love, by the way.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if I had missed anything in between then. But it doesn't seem like I have.
No, not really.
No,
It was quite sudden.
All right, fair enough. I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with you, Max. Like, I was at points I was like, oh, this is so lovely, and then, but it was kind of like one extreme to the other. Like, it was like, bang, we're in love. No, we can't be together. Oh, bang, in love. Well, we can't be together. And I'm like, oh, what is the point of this?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I was just wanted more from their relationship. As much as I do think those characters are very well acted, I think Vanessa Kirby does a really fantastic job throughout the show of portraying Princess Margaret. I think as this kind of, I guess they kind of juxtapose her with the Queen in a sense. It's like, here's the one with all the fun, and here's the Queen,
she's the rebel
who's,
kid.
you know, like a blank slate and characterless. I like how they kind of come to blows a lot in terms of that. I guess they were kind of vying for affection from their father a lot when they were younger.
Yeah, like they argue about who the favourite was and all that other kind of stuff.
How siblings like kind of interact with each other, you know.
I mean,
Yeah.
I do very much feel like the sibling relationship there, especially with like, I mean, obviously I know me and my sister aren't exactly like royalty or anything, but I could imagine that she would be like the Queen and I would be like Margaret, because we're just two completely different people in that sort of same aspect. But
yeah, I also hear stuff like, oh, you know, I'm their favourite child, and it's like okay.
I swear every kid thinks that they're the favourite kid though.
It's interesting to see that kind of carried on, especially in Margaret as like an adult. She's like so adamant on it, like, yeah, but I was his favourite, and it's like, haven't you grown out of that now? Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, maybe I'm not actually referring to this show itself, but I've never understood why anyone would be so like intent on being like the favorite kid.
Yeah, like who even cares?
I don't know whether
Why
that's
does it matter?
Yeah, does she have like some sort of, because you know she's always been pushed to the sideline, like she's not the Queen, she's in the shadow of the Queen or whatever. So does she just cling on to the idea that someone loved her more than someone loves the Queen? I don't know. Like, I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of silly rules in, I guess, the
50s
Britain
Britain.
in terms of how the monarchy is run, and even like I don't know if it's still going on today, even, but like just as like silly things, just like, oh, you know, the sovereign can't offer the prime minister refreshment or a seat, even. Something like say, you know, sit down. It's like, okay, this is weird. It's weird how like you see the monarchy treated, and especially the Queen. And I guess it's this internal struggle within herself as well. It's like, well, why can't I do this? And like, at the same time as she is like the highest authority within the United Kingdom, she also, I mean, like right now, she's not really allowed to do anything. She's not really allowed to like have a say. She's not really allowed to have an opinion. If the cabinet and houses of parliament, if they want to pass a law, like, yeah, they have to ask her, but she can't say no. She's not allowed to say no.
Yeah, it's very interesting the fact that she is like basically she's the ruler of the country. She's like the highest authority, but like they kind of show throughout the show that she actually doesn't really have any power at all. She's just kind of like almost just like
she's a dog's body, isn't she? Yeah.
More like a figurehead.
Yeah.
Dear.
Oh dear.
What do we think of the fourth episode, where it shows this great smog of London that happened in the late December year it was like early December in 52 or 53. I don't know, don't quote me on that. But that was like, I guess that was like the most insular episode, and I liked it a lot. I've never really heard about this smog that descended
No,
in
me neither.
London for like a few days, and like so many fucking people died.
Oh, was that the
So
one where
many
Churchill
people.
had to come and save everyone? Or, you know,
We
the
had
thing with
to
the
do it,
hospital
yeah,
or
I
whatever.
mean, like-
Right, okay, no, I remember what you're talking about now, yeah.
It's interesting that he decides to go because his employee was killed. So he's like, I know that they're trying to oust me from the government because I'm doing a shit job. So he goes to this hospital and kind of makes a show of how great he's being to the general public to like stay in a bid to stay in power. It's like really kind of slimy stuff that he does throughout the show, which
Tactics,
is like,
and
it's just like he's very clingy to his seat in Parliament and his power over the people. I think we just see like time and time again. It's like even today, even like as we're speaking, it's like we're seeing like a prime minister who will not like back down and who won't.
even though everything has been stacked against him.
All the odds are stacked against him, and it's like, well, he still won't do anything. He's like, well, I guess I'll just do something better. I'll get rid of the cabinet and I'll reshuffle. And sorry, but I'm not going to go. And I think there is a massive weight within this season where it's like, yeah, you should leave. You should have left years ago. Nobody wants you here.
I feel like, this is just history repeating itself, really, isn't it? But then I guess
but
they
when
also...
you're in power, you cling to that power, right? Like,
yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought like, I don't know how they did like the effects with the smog in that episode, but I thought it was all like really great. It was all really like well done effects work with like this cloud that's just descending, and Churchill's like, oh, it's just the weather. What's wrong with you people? It's just the weather. But it's obviously like a product of the pollution from all the factories, and thank God we've never seen anything like that happen again because it was catastrophic. What did they say? I found it was quite funny when they said, masks are useless. They're just for show to make it look like the government are doing something. It's like, oh no.
Well, that aged like milk.
This is 2016 we're talking about.
They knew the truth.
I think on a technical level, this show is like almost faultless. Like,
fantastic.
it's visually incredibly lavish. The cinematography and colouring, it's all like really, really beautiful to look at. I think the set dressing and like all the locations they pick just really capture that like kind of extravagant feel that you'd expect a period drama about royalty to kind of capture. I think it all looks incredible.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's a very grandiose lifestyle that they lead, and obviously they're in these massive palaces. And
you've got to show us the massive palaces. Come on.
You have to show the massive palaces. Come on, guys.
If you're going to give it, you've got to show it.
All the really great set design. It all looks very authentic, and especially the costumes. I thought were like second to none. Fucking brilliant costume design work going on here. Like everything is paid attention to in this. Technically, I think it's like a marvel.
Yeah, because I think Chris told me yesterday like every episode costs like $5 million to make.
Yeah, it's one of the most expensive shows ever made. Every
you can
episode
tell.
was budgeted at £5 million. Apparently, when they like making it, before the first episode had even been completed, they had already commissioned 2 seasons of it, and they planned to do 4 more after that. Then they just knew instantly it was going to be a huge hit and it would pay off for them.
So, like, how many seasons can they really feasibly do now that they're on? They're doing the 5th.
Yeah, the 6th one's going to be the last, supposedly.
I think it would have to be like the amount of money they must have spent on that already.
They had planned to do 5 in total, and then I think it got to doing season 5, and they were like, okay, we could do another one.
Oh, what, like wrap it up? I suppose.
Yeah, I think they realised the story they wanted to tell was too big for one more season.
Fair enough. I mean, it's probably quite a lot to tell. I don't know. We haven't gotten that far yet, but
I think season 5's about Princess Diana coming in to the picture.
Oh yeah, you can't do that in one season.
I feel like that's about as far as you should go with a show like this. I wouldn't really want them to step on like what we're currently experiencing.
Like modern stuff, no.
Yeah,
maybe that's something to do like, I don't know, 20 years on.
Yeah, there's not really much to say about anything after Princess Diana.
Although I would like to see one in the future where we get someone dressed up as Boris Johnson fumbling around like kicking children in the face or whatever and being like, wear a mask.
We get
I would love it.
like a Darkest Hour, but it's Boris Johnson.
I just think it'd
We
be quite
probably will.
funny. We probably will one day. 'Cause
Give it like 40 years, there'll probably be a Boris Johnson biopic.
I cannot wait for
I don't
it
know.
personally.
It's like watching a biopic like right now. It's like watching TV.
It is. It's almost surreal, isn't it? It doesn't
Yeah.
feel like we are
Like
living in these times.
fiction. Like this shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'll wake up any minute and be like, oh, okay.
I don't know if you guys watched the Boris's statement from Downing Street today.
No, I was
There
at
a
work.
bit- I watched a little bit of it, and there was a
bit.
bit that made me laugh where he was like, I know we all know what the problem here is, and then everyone just shouts you.
Yeah.
I think see, I don't really know how to feel about all this because I know that Boris needs to leave and he needs to go. But is he just staying because he's being stubborn, or do you think he's genuinely doing it because he's like, well, if I go, we're already in the shit. Who's gonna tackle this?
Who
Like, I
knows?
don't know. Like, does no one want to follow him up? I don't know. Surely people want to be in his shoes. Surely someone wants to go, I'll take a crack at that.
Cool.
People in power will always try to cling for power.
Yeah, they kind of show that in this show
Yeah.
with Winston Churchill clinging on until he literally thinks he's no longer like fit to do
Yeah,
it.
he's like killing himself. He has like 2 strokes.
I
He
just-
still won't quit.
I just don't know what.
Yeah, it's not till he sees this painting and the painter like basically just yells at him and goes, the reason you don't like
Yeah.
it is because you don't like seeing yourself in a mirror, basically.
Fucking brilliant. Yeah. Oh my
And
god,
that is
that's
art
so
for you.
good.
Art tells the truth.
It's
Art
like
is
holding
real.
up a mirror to
Yeah,
himself.
he said something like, if you see decay, that's because there's decay.
Yeah.
Like,
If you see fragility, it's because you see fragility.
yeah.
Because
That's
because
a
you're
really
fragile.
great scene.
I was like, yeah, like you're
That man
80
is
years
literally
old.
a corpse. Like,
You see, like, even like Philip towards the end, you see him like in pictures. It's like, yeah, it's like because nobody's infallible. Everybody decays and everybody dies, and they want us to believe that these people are somehow elevated above us because, like, what their ancestors won some battles in the past and won some castles. It's like we're all human at the end of the day, and none of us have elevated ourselves any higher than just human beings, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. But I appreciate, I guess, you know, you can advocate for a monarchy or denounce it, but I appreciate nowadays we're seeing more of a kind of humanity to these people, where we are seeing, like, you know, people leaving the royal family or people having, you know, actual criticism leveled against them for the things that they've been doing. It's refreshing to see. I don't think this would have happened back in, you know, the 50s when this show was set, because we all bought into that fantasy. We all bought into like the godlike stature of these people.
Yeah, of course. I don't really have anything else to add. Don't know about you guys.
no, to be honest.
I don't know.
But then I don't think I had a lot to say anyway.
Yeah. I found it interesting, like in the 7th episode, the Queen was kind of vying for like the right to like education. Like nobody educated her when she was a child about like just things that people should be educated about. I thought that was quite interesting. I don't know how they do it nowadays, but like I do think that's important. It's like in like the very first scene, she's like a child and she's being educated, and she's like, is this what you teach the other kids? And he's like, no, this is what I teach the other kids. And he gives her like a paper and it's got actual mathematics on it, and he's like, that's all very uncivilized though. It's very, very undignified. It's too undignified for royalty. And that kind of showed that she was
how
much
dare
more
they know
she
anything?
was much more there for like decoration than she was to be an actual person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we can go on to ratings.
I think we should rate this out of corgis.
Corgis.
Yes.
Yeah, I really, really.
Wait, sorry, there was a quote in in episode 9 where they're like, she's talking to the guy that she used to like or whatever, and he's talking about his fiancée, and he said,
wait, I think I know exactly what you've had to say. Go on.
she's like, oh, where's she from? Did you marry into money, I hope? And he's like, she's a Portsmouth. And she says,
I said
so no money.
I said the same thing. I went, oh, Chris is a Portsmouth. And he
Great.
went, oh dear.
Real slap in the face to us Portsmouthians.
Well, that's for you two to say.
Yeah, sorry. No money, unfortunately.
But it's the same here in Luton. No money there either.
Yeah.
You say here in Luton, you're in Portsmouth at the moment.
Yeah. You're here with the rest of us commoners.
Yeah, I have a dual heritage of Portsmouth and Luton, and neither of them have money.
In the mud and the shit.
Guess which one is which?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, this show is really great. I enjoyed it a lot. Thought it was really interesting, really well made. Just a great show, I think. I'd probably give the first season like 8 corgis out of 10. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the rest of it because I enjoyed it a lot. Looking forward to seeing Olivia Colman come up and play the Queen.
Same, I love her.
Time. Yeah, a lot of interesting actors I've seen are in the show in the later seasons, so I'm interested in carrying on the show. I really liked it. I thought it was really great, and I was very worried that it was going to be, something that really wasn't up my street. But I do like learning about the royal family in this kind of way, more from like a historical point of view, because I do kind of feel like this whole system is very antiquated, and I don't know how. I mean, I'm not going to ponder whether the monarchy is going to be overthrown and abolished. I don't know, but it is. I do think there's like more call for that nowadays than ever, as we are kind of understanding that maybe a monarchy doesn't really fit within a modern world as we're seeing it today. And I do like that they tackle that in the show as well. They kind of, even back in the 50s, they were like, yeah, the world's evolving and, we've got to evolve with it or die. Brilliant first season, I think. I was contemplating giving it a 10, but I don't know. I think there were bits and pieces where I kind of fell off, but really not a lot. I kind of was enamored by the whole thing. I'll give it 9 corgis out of 10. I hope it goes up. I hope it keeps at this kind of level.
From what I've heard, seasons 2 and 4 are the best.
Okay.
Oh, really? I mean, I was surprised about how much I liked it, to be honest, because when it came up on the wheel, I thought, okay, The Crown, great, a royal show, brilliant.
Shit.
And let's be honest, I think we were all kind of secretly thinking, fuck, a show about the royals. But no, it was really good. I think I only really got into it like after the second episode, because I was just really drawn to King George for some bizarre reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because he was just like so well done in like no time at all. But no, I really liked it. So I probably would carry it on because not only am I going to be forced to carry it on now because Chris wants to watch it, but no, I want to watch Olivia Colman because I love her. So I'll also give it an 8 corgis out of 10 and hope it gets better from there.
Yeah, I want to see Olivia Colman. I think Gillian Anderson's in there.
Yes!
Yeah, she
I remember Chris
plays
said that.
Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, I thought
Which
she might.
kind of makes
I'll be
me
interested to see that.
I love that
Yeah, you
because
got
oh god.
What's her name from Tenet as Diana?
Shit, I've forgotten her name. I don't. That.
I saw her name literally just yesterday as well, but I don't know it.
I'm gonna kick myself. Elizabeth Debicki.
Yeah.
I like her.
Yeah,
She's a good actor. Awesome. And it was also interesting to like watch the show where it's like I'd already seen Spencer as well, and it's I'm kind of was sort of drawing a lot of parallels between the two. Although I do think they're going for completely different things. I like the kind of depiction of the monarchy in that kind of way.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're not going to do the next show. We'll save that until like much later, so we know that
we can stream it and things.
We actually can stream it, and like it's not going to be taken off. So we're just going to do what are we going to do for the next episode 66. We're spinning the wheel now.
I like how noisy the wheel is.
Lovely.
Is it usually that noisy?
Okay, and this is actually one I've wanted to do for a long time. I put a bunch of decades on the list a while
Okay.
ago. We got 2000s movies, so all of us have to pick a movie from the 2000s.
Okay.
It can be anything we want, as long as it's from that decade.
Awesome.
Cool.
Great.
That is pretty much like almost every film in the world.
Exactly. It gives us,
It's going to be
it's
very
basically
difficult
just a
to do.
free-for-all, but
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, I think.
we have 10 years worth of movies to pick from, so
That is a challenge and a
It's a
half.
challenge.
I'm
Yeah.
excited. I've really wanted to do a decades one for a while.
Yeah, we haven't got to yet. Excited to do that.
Yeah.
3 movies from
Mm.
2000s
Nice.
in episode 66. That's it from us, folks. Tune in next time. We've got social media if you want to follow that. YouTube is the Sunday Movie Marathon, plain and simple. Twitter is at Sunday Movie Pod. Facebook is at Sunday Movie Marathon. Letterboxd is at Sunday MM capital S capital MM. Any final words?
Fuck Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify are wankers.
Yeah. Bye.